welcome to Book Critiques with Cait. I'm your host, Caitlin. In today's show, I'm going to cover the book Fangirl by Rowell. I'll begin with a brief overview of the most prominent characters and give a shortened version of the book's plot. I will add in my personal opinion on the overall book and what impressions the characters left on me as I go through this episode. Finally, I will move on to the last topic and discuss the progression of the main character, Kath, through the events of the novel. To begin, I'm going to quote directly from Rowell's website and give a general summary of the book's plot. Kath is a Simon Snow fan. Okay, everybody is a Simon Snow fan. But for Kath, it's something more. Fandom is life. It's what got her and her sister Ren through losing their mom. It's what kept them close. And now she's starting college. Introverted Kath isn't sure what's supposed to get her through. She's got a surly roommate with a charming, always-around boyfriend, a fiction-writing professor who thinks fan fiction is the end of the civilized world, and a handsome classmate who only wants to talk about words. And she can't stop worrying about her dad, who's loving and fragile and has never really been alone. For Kath, the question is, can she do this? Can she make it without Ren holding her hand? Is she ready to start living her own life, writing her own stories? And does she even want to move on if it means leaving Simon Snow behind? So to clarify and give a little bit better of an overview of it, Kath is a young girl starting college with her twin sister, Ren. And her sister really wants some freedom from her twin. She is so used to having her hold her hand. They've done everything together, and the loss of their mom was what caused this. So, after losing their mom, both Kath and Ren started to write fan fiction for the Simon Snow fandom, which is a fictional book series that was created because of this novel. It was first debuted in the novel, and then it became so popular and readers wanted to learn more about it, the author actually made it its own book, and I believe that there's two. Whenever Ren started to outgrow writing fan fiction, Kath dug in her heels. That was her security blanket. She wanted to continue writing the story of Simon Snow, how she thought that it should end. It consumed her, and even though she became quite famous, it still kept her within her shell. So once they get to college, Ren blossomed, while Kath hid in her room, living off granola bars because she was terrified of going to the cafeteria by herself. Through other characters' help and a lot of self-realization, Kath accepts that she can move on with her life and let go of her insecurities. However, by doing that, she has to give up Simon Snow, and she doesn't know if she wants to yet. If you plan to read this book, I really recommend that you take it slow at first. As a reader, I enjoy little subtle hints of romance, and that is thrown in throughout the entire book. But what I really appreciate about this book is it focuses on Kath and her insecurities and her growing out of those. It's not just a full-fledged romance novel that you read whenever you're in a reading slump. Now, we're going to go on to some not-so-great reviews of Fangirl. Other readers gave mixed reviews, such as Elena May on Goodreads, and she said, "I'm giving Fangirl 3 stars because I think it wasn't well-researched and the characters were not always consistent." And I can understand that. The pacing is kind of off when you read the book, but overall, I think the story is really, really good. Whenever I first read this book, I had just come to college, and I could really, really relate to the character of Kath because you're thrown into a whole new world that you have to adjust to pretty quickly. As Kath goes through these struggles, I really thought that she developed as a character, which made me like her a whole lot more than what I did in the beginning. She starts out very insecure and she refuses to adapt. But once she gets to college and she meets people, she starts to come out of her shell little by little. And what I think is really cool is she didn't rely on her twin, Rin, to pull her out of that shell. When her professor says that fan fiction isn't real writing, Cath gets in, well, I'll show you attitude, and she shows him, this is really cool, and you can be really effective in your writing, even though it is fan fiction. Like I said, it wouldn't be a young adult novel without some romance thrown in, but it's not in your face, and it just makes you feel good. It makes you think back to your first time being in love. By the end of the novel, Cath is still recognizable, but she's grown into someone that I think a lot of introverts strive to become, which is somebody that is comfortable in their own skin. So to kind of wrap things up, I think that Fangirl is a feel-good coming-of-age story. The character of Cath shows a lot of growth as the story progresses. And I think that many people could find a little part of themselves within this book. I know that I did in the character of Cath. Thank you for tuning in this week. If you liked this content, please like and share this video and come back next week for my next video. And remember to subscribe to NWTV7 for future episodes. Have a good day, everyone.